Generative AI is changing everything about how we work. It's boosting our productivity in ways that honestly felt like science fiction just a couple of years ago. But there's a flip side. This amazing tool has a dark side, a hidden cost that's creating this massive vulnerability inside businesses everywhere. It's called shadow AI, and we're about to dive into just how expensive it can really get. So, I want you to really think about this for a second. That harmless-looking chatbot that your team is absolutely loving right now, it could be creating a risk you haven't even considered. The big question is, how do you know if you're innovating or if you're accidentally inviting disaster right through the front door? And this is where we get to the heart of the problem. It all lies in an unseen threat. See, employees are adopting these AI tools at an absolutely staggering rate. And while their intentions are almost always good, they are unknowingly opening the company up to a brand new and very, very expensive kind of data breach. So what are we talking about here? It's something called shadow AI. You can think of it as the modern version of shadow IT, but honestly, it's way more dangerous. This is what happens when your team uses public AI tools, like the free version of ChatGPT or Gemini, and they're feeding it sensitive company information, completely off the radar of your security team. And look, the scale of this problem is wow. It's huge. This isn't just a couple of people bending the rules. We're talking 68% of employees using personal AI accounts for their work. It's become a systemic, widespread behavior, and it's all driven by that desire to just be more efficient. And this is maybe the most important part, the real kicker. The people doing this aren't bad actors. They're not trying to cause problems. They are your star players, your most motivated pros who are just trying to get their jobs done faster and better. And that makes shadow AI a leadership and a strategy problem, not just an IT issue you can patch. Okay, so we've established what it is and why it's happening. Now let's talk about the dollars and cents. Let's look at the consequences, because when things go wrong with shadow AI, they go wrong in a big, expensive way. Get ready for this number. $4.63 million. That's the average cost of a single data breach that involves shadow AI. And that's not some made-up hypothetical number. That is a direct hit to the bottom line. And if we break that down, you can see just how much extra this shadow activity costs you. A standard data breach is already incredibly expensive, right? But when unsanctioned AI is part of the mix, it slaps on an extra $670,000 penalty. And you might ask why. Well, it's because the data is way harder to track, and the damage is just so much more complex to contain. And if that cost wasn't scary enough, check this out. It takes, on average, 247 days for a company to even realize a shadow AI breach has happened. That's over 8 months. For 8 months, your most sensitive data, your intellectual property, could be out there exposed, and you wouldn't even know it. And don't think this is a once-in-a-while thing. It's happening all the time. Just think about this for a second. In just 1 month, security platforms caught over 300,000 attempts to paste data into unapproved AI tools. That is a constant, steady hemorrhage of your company's most valuable information. All right, that's a lot of scary news. So what do we do about it? Well, banning AI is definitely not the answer. All that does is drive the behavior further underground. The real solution is to understand the different kinds of AI that are out there and then choose the right one for your business. Okay, let's break this down. This table is super important because it shows not all AI is built the same. Take a look at that first row, data training risk. On the left, public AI uses your data to train its public model. That's a massive risk. In the middle, enterprise SaaS is better. It excludes your data from that training. But look all the way to the right, a private enterprise GPT. You have total control. There is zero risk. And you see that same pattern all the way down for where your data lives, for your compliance. The private model is the only one that can guarantee your data stays on your servers and inherits the security framework you've already built. And that right-hand column, that leads us to the real solution here, the private enterprise GPT. The best way to think about it is like building a secure digital fortress around your AI, one that gives your team all that incredible power, but without ever compromising your most valuable asset, which is your data. So what is a private enterprise GPT? The key idea is simple, but it's powerful. It means that all your data, your source code, your client lists, your strategic plans, it never leaves your secure perimeter. It's all processed inside your own walls, completely walled off from the public internet. So how do you actually build this fortress? Well, it's all about layers of security. You start at the very bottom with a secure foundation, with physically isolated servers. Then you use smart orchestration tools to manage everything efficiently. And finally, the AI itself runs inside a fortified digital container, completely isolating its processes for maximum security. And when you do this, the payoff is huge. We're talking about some serious benefits. You get absolute uncompromising protection for your intellectual property. You get to customize the AI with your own private data. You get predictable costs and a real long-term ROI. And you get guaranteed compliance with all the big regulations, like HIPAA and GDPR, because it just inherits the compliance you already have. But here's a really critical point. You can't just buy a piece of tech and call it a day. Deploying a secure tool like this is only half the solution. To really truly solve the shadow AI problem, you have to pair that technology with clear policies and a culture of awareness. Think of it this way. You can give your team the safest, most advanced car on the planet, but you still need to teach them the rules of the road. It's the same idea here. A strong governance framework is what guides employee behavior and makes sure that amazing technology is used correctly and, most importantly, safely. So what does good governance actually look like? Well, it really comes down to these 4 pillars. First, you have to mandate the use of your new sanctioned tool. Second, you've got to implement network visibility and just block the unapproved AI sites. Third, establish oversight that cuts across different departments. And finally, and this is so important, mandate continuous AI literacy training so everyone in the company understands why these rules are in place. So, we're going to end right back where we started. There's no doubt about it. Your employees are already using AI to get ahead. That train has left the station. The only question that really matters now is who's in control? Is it you, or is it some algorithm that you've never even met?